Marketer of the Day, number 509. Remove malware from your WordPress website. Backups, firewalls, cloning, updating, and maintenance with Michael Jones. Hey everyone, we're so glad that you're listening to us today. We're talking with Michael Jones, and his website is sitesassure.com. And that's a site that helps to, it scans your website and removes malware. And we're going to hear all about Michael's company, his services, and maybe if he lets us, ask some questions about some behind the scenes stuff and how he developed this. So Michael, glad to be talking to you today.
Hi. Good.
So,
all right. So where do you want to start?
I mean, first let's start in. Did I get that right? Did I get right about what your company is and what you guys do and what you're all about?
Pretty close. Yes. We remove malware off of websites and then we secure them.
Cool. So, I mean, can you sort of just to give everyone a clear picture, make sure we're all on the same page here. When you say malware on a website, can you tell us what that means, just to make sure that we're all talking about the same thing?
Okay. Most websites are made out of content management systems. The hacking forces in the world are always finding exploits in those systems where they can inject SEO spam, links to other websites, redirects, or actually put in viruses, which people can get when they visit the site, or actually downloadable executables that automatically quietly download while you're visiting somebody's website. So that's what I'm referring to when I say a website that's been hacked and has malware.
So scary stuff. So lots of ways where it might be immediately obvious, might redirect somewhere, or it might be running there right now on people's websites and they have no idea and it's doing all kinds of bad stuff.
And you have no idea and it's doing all kinds of bad stuff. But one of the biggest questions is everybody says, why me? Why are they hacking me? I've just got a small website and I get like 5 people a day. Don't take it personally. They're not after you. They're after the content management systems. They're after the servers and the hosting companies. And most of all, they're trying to bring down the internet and the way it works around the world. It's not you personally. They're after a much bigger picture.
That makes sense. So yeah, you're not to blame. It's just that maybe your website runs WordPress 3.0, something really old. So there are all these machines, all these bots out there scanning everything and trying to find a way in just because they want to take over just tons of stuff, not just your own website. It's mostly automated bots that are doing this. They're programmed to find the exploits and insert whatever nefarious activity they want to do. So very rarely is it a person that's actually manually hacking you. But if there's somebody manually hacking you, there's really nothing you can do about it. If they want you, they're going to get you. The only thing you can do is start playing games with them until they get tired of you and move on to the next victim. Well, geez, well, it's kind of scary stuff. So this is a real problem that people might have sites that are hacked, or maybe they're just concerned about hack. Maybe they just want to kind of, strengthen the barriers there. So, I mean, obviously, if someone has a problem with their website, they should go out and contact you. But what do people, I don't know, try to do when they try to fix the websites themselves? What kind of things do you see people kind of try to do to fix this problem?
Well, a lot of times they don't even know. So the first thing they try to do is upgrade their website. So now they're going to have a double issue. The site's infected and the upgrade's going to fail. The next thing that they don't do is they don't have backups. Your best defense against anything that happens on the internet is to have a backup of your website. There's plenty of plugins where you can manually do it. We recommend Akiba, Backup Buddy. Akiba works for all the major CRMs, content management systems. So you want to make sure that you back up your website manually at least once a week or every time you edit it. Unfortunately, do not trust the hosting company's backups to always be there. And do not trust automated backups, because what we find is that the backup never ran, or the backup ran 6 months ago and then you were out of disk space and there is no backup. So the best way is always to manually do it, and then you can restore your site in minutes.
Super cool. So get that site backed up. So just in case the worst happens, you have that fresh copy of it. And are there things that people should be doing to make sure that they're protected from this malware stuff?
The first thing you do before you even make a website live is install a firewall. The hosting company's responsibility is to the hosting company's server, not to your website. It's up to you to secure your website. So there's many different ways to do that. There are cloud firewalls that run off of taking over your DNS. And then there's also software firewalls, which is ours. There's pros and cons to both of them. A cloud firewall involves you having to set up, know a little bit about DNS and IPs and routing and things like that. And that cloud system will absolutely take over your website from you. I get a lot of people coming back and saying they can't edit their websites. They can't even change a picture. They can't do anything. So we recommend a software firewall. It doesn't take over your website, and our current firewall is just as effective.
Cool. So you can do that cloud firewall, but you guys prefer to do that software firewall. And so, oh, what's that?
I didn't say anything, but
right.
But what I would say is, anytime you install a firewall as a plugin into your WordPress or Joomla or Drupal website, you are opening up another hole. It's another vulnerability. Whereas with the cloud, of course, it happens in the cloud on someplace else is blocking. And with our software firewall, it's actually a separate install and does not integrate into your website. It actually is like a shield between your website and the world, but on your server.
Okay, cool. Thanks for clearing that up. And so there's this widespread problem here of sites getting hacked, people needing to recover from their websites. And so this is a really in-demand problem. So how did you come across being the solution for this? Like, how did you get started with being the person that helps fix people's websites?
How do you think? I went through it. I've actually got involved in the internet in 1994, which proves me pretty old man when it comes to internet. I worked for one of the first 10 e-commerce companies that went online. It's history now, and it's called CD Universe, and they had the first internet hacking. 350,000 credit cards were stolen by a 16-year-old kid named Maxim and put for sale on the internet for $1. And this was before anybody knew anything. This was the first big hacking. So I got a little experience there. Then while I was doing that, I caught one of my clients at CD Universe was Yahoo. So they flew me out to Yahoo to talk to Yahoo about what happened with our hacking experience. And while I was sitting there in the office at Yahoo, they had their first denial of service attack. It was major. I was sitting in the office when it happened. Maybe I'm bad luck. I don't know. But the next experience I had was I had started working on my own as a consultant and started doing my own entrepreneurial projects. And all my domain names were stolen out of Network Solutions. Somehow they got my password, transferred them all out. I was without my businesses for 2 months. I've had my hands in the fire too many times. So that piqued my interest in security and protecting the websites. So as we got into this, when WordPress first came out, we started making plugins. They all worked. When we put them on people's websites, the customer support, we heard that things didn't work. When we checked, they were either hacked or their websites were broken. I mean, just raw code sticking out. I mean, I don't know how they did not notice that. So I wasn't going to fix their websites for free. So we started 911 website repair, where we've repaired over 25,000 websites. That led to the software, which led to everybody in kind of cyclical. There's kind of periods where we get a lot of people coming for website repair that websites are hacked. So that's how we got experience with that. So just seeing all the different kind of hackings, our programming staff got quite experienced with it. At the same time, this was probably 3 years ago, there was a big hacking event where actually the hosting companies were all hacked. And a friend of mine had a software firewall. He wanted to get out of the business, wanted to retire. He gave it to me, so we rebuilt it from the ground up and started selling that as the Site Secure Firewall. Right now, there's nothing 100% effective, but we're about 95%. And the latest version of the firewall, knocking on wood, has not been hacked since September. It's been totally secure.
Super cool.
So that's
yeah,
basically the story.
Awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like either you're bad luck, or I choose to believe that you were just a part of history. You saw all these first time hacks of different types go down, and so you've been there since the beginning. You've seen it all. And so one thing that I'm really curious about is, so you and your team provide website repair, and I imagine that maybe some jobs are different than others. So how do you even begin to price a thing like that? Like, and how do you avoid the trap of charging someone one price and then your team goes ahead and begins to fix things, and it turns out you've bitten off more than you can chew, or it's this huge labor intensive thing? How do you solve that problem?
Knocking on wood again, we've seen just about everything. So what we do is we flat rate the repair on, so if it gets ridiculous, I did a flat rate and I have to absorb it. But it's also an educational process for the staff. But generally, it works out because we have so much experience that we know what's involved. And as long as we can get pieces and parts and backups of the website we're working on, we're good to go. The biggest repair issue that we have, which we see over and over again on a daily basis, is failed upgrades. People don't hesitate to click that upgrade button, and then one day it crashes and it doesn't work and they don't understand why. And one thing we have to do is educate our customers and the people coming to us in that when you click that upgrade, you need to make sure that WordPress, your template, and all its plugins are compatible with the server software. And right now the big deal is PHP 7, because 5.6 has been deprecated. So you got to make sure all the parts are going to be compatible and work together. So people click that button and they're crashing because they don't do that. They don't know to do that. So that's one of the big things we see. And then also to answer your question about how do we keep it in line so we don't go out of scope, we have terminology. For instance, I just had somebody contact me. And so what we do is you charge $249.95 an assessment fee. It's roughly 10 to 12 hours worth of work. So what we do is we go in. If we don't know what the issue is, we find out what the issue is. And if we can fix it for that price, we will. If not, then at least we have gone in. We know what's going on. We'll know what the solution is. We can quote on that, but we'll credit them that $249.95 so they're not paying that twice.
Well, cool. So you have that $249.95 assessment where you go in and see what's what. And so for people to hopefully avoid this problem before it happens, would it be correct in assuming that people should, instead of just clicking that upgrade button, they should back up their site first before doing anything else, and then upgrade, and then check, and if it all worked, then everything's good, and if it fails, go and contact you and your team and say, I went to upgrade, but it failed, but here's the backup.
Right, and that's the other thing we also educate them on, is that before you do a upgrade, never upgrade a live site. There's so many tools out there that you can use to clone a website and put it in a subdirectory, upgrade it there, make sure it all goes good, and then moves it over. Never upgrade a live site.
Good advice. So clone it and then run the upgrade. That way you can just make 100% sure, well, maybe not 100%, but you can have a pretty good idea of if it would fail or not. And so if someone has a website and it's hacked or it's broken or something's wrong, what sort of thought process do you and your team have going in? Do you go in and do you check for certain things? Do you run specific tools or scanners? How do you begin to tackle this issue?
We do triage. We get a history of the website and what's been going on, what precipitated the crash. Do they have any customizations, or is it just a default out of the box site? And then we have several scanners, some proprietary that we run on the website, which will give us reports so that we know going into it pretty much what's going on. And then if we are not getting enough information from a report, we'll also get the login information and can go in and check their server and website and see what's going on that way too.
Okay, well, that makes logical sense. And so as you and your team got rocking and rolling, did you have any difficulties in documenting the system? Because it sounds like it's pretty step by step, pretty straightforward, but I imagine it might have been difficult to take your own thinking, your own thought process, and put it in a way that any of your team can pick it up and is duplicatable. So were there any growing pains in getting your system up and running?
Yes, of course there are. That's how you learn. That's how you get to where you are, where you want to be. And you have to morph and you have to adjust as you're going along. So yes, from experience, we've changed our protocols and the way we work. We've changed the way that we work with our customers. And it's just, experience. But it's certainly not the same way that we did it when we first started.
Okay, fair enough. So it evolves over time. And then something else that I'm curious about is if people are going into your 911 website repair or something like that, how do you handle the customer service issue? Because I imagine people might be in a hurry or panicked about their website, but then they also might not want to know all the technical details, but they still want to know what's going on. So how do you handle the customer service side of things?
All right. Kind of like what a doctor does. My wife is a social worker, and all she does is document all day long. So we have a ticket system, and everything is documented. What we're doing, what the customer wants, their reaction, their response, what we've completed, even to the point of having them approve that the website is working and fixed and making it live again. All has to come from the customer. So it's documentation. We also respond to every ticket, every phone call, and every email every single day. We review all projects with our staff every single morning, so everybody knows what's going on. And unlike a lot of teams, our programmers do not work severely. What happens is they work as a team. So if one programmer is stuck and needs help with something or has a question, he can turn to the person at the desk next to him and ask him if he, has the experience. Now everybody knows who's the best at what, and they share. So it's a collaborative effort.
Super cool. So you have that ticket system, you have the collaboration between your programmers, you have the systems, the checklist to keep everything going. I mean, super cool. So now what my attention's on here is, so someone says, my site was hacked, my site was broken. You go in there and you fix the site. What's to prevent the same bad behavior from that customer of breaking the site again or leaving the hole again? What's to prevent things breaking a second or third time?
There's nothing. I mean, the customer owns the site. In 90% of the cases, the customer does not want a maintenance plan or keep us on retainer. They feel they can do it themselves. So I actually just had that happen to me. Finished a website 5 months ago, and the guy now is back. His website's broken. And I'm explaining to him, we haven't touched it in 5 months. I have no idea. If you want us to clean it, it's new work. If you want us to fix it, it's new work. So this is a problem where they think it's like a TV set. You just turn it on and off and nothing's ever going to happen. So a lot of times the customers do break their websites again. And when they break it again, sorry, but it's new work.
Well, there you go. It's like I broke my side view mirror. I take it in, get a new side view mirror. Oops, broke my side view mirror again. And so you mentioned this maintenance plan that you have. So can you unpack that a little bit for us?
Yeah, what we do is we sell time, and you can bank the time. So you can either buy a block of time and just leave it there, which will keep you on the ticket system and make you a priority customer. It saves a lot of time. And so you just buy a block, and as the time is used, we deduct the time. If you need more time, we'll let you know how much more time to buy. Or you can just buy a monthly recurring maintenance plan. Companies usually do that because they want the security of having us at their fingertips. So maintenance, recurring maintenance plan could be, again, a block of time, 6 hours a month, same price every month, it automatically renews.
Okay, so if someone is paying for some kind of monthly recurring maintenance plan, what does that include? What sort of activities, tasks do you guys do?
It would be for fixing the website, but it would not be necessarily for upgrading a website. See, a lot of people customize their websites. They have custom templates, and that takes a lot more than 6 hours. It's very close to rebuilding a website from scratch, except we already have all their content, their products, their images, their users, etc. So it would not cover an upgrade, but it would cover regular maintenance tasks of adding pages, swapping out images, adding a video, adding a Twitter feed, things like that.
Well, great. Well, it's good to know that these sorts of services exist, so that way people don't have to figure it all out themselves. They can just hire you and your team and say, "I want these things done. Go ahead and do them." Do any of your plans also include things like protecting the site and keeping it updated,
Yeah.
keeping it protected, keeping it fast, all those things?
We take care of keeping it protected. You can purchase our firewall. It's $24.95 a month, but if you pay for a whole year in advance, you'll save $50, $249.90, and that will protect it. And then it's also like an insurance policy. If your website were to be hacked again, and remember, no one had ever promised 100% security, but if your website were to be hacked again, we would clean your website again for no further charge. So you're really looking at it like a warranty or an insurance policy at that point.
If my site is broken or my site is hacked, I need some professionals to go ahead and do it, and maybe either one time or an ongoing basis, or for one site or for many sites. So can you lay out for us a couple of your offers, your websites, or if someone has heard what you said today, knowing that a lot of them run WordPress websites and things like that, where's a good place for them to check out what you have or contact you or anything like that? Where are some good links for people to go to?
Go to 911websiterepair.com, 911websiterepair.com, and that's for website repair, upgrading, customizations, full development, things like that. If your website is hacked or you believe it's been hacked, go to Sites Assure, SITESASSURE.com, Sites Assure. There's actually a free scanner there where you can enter your URL and get a report and see if your website is indeed hacked or not. And then there you can purchase the firewall and the service plan and the warranty and have your website cleaned. There is one more thing that I want to make people aware of. A lot of these really low-end, cheap security companies, what they do is they have automatic malware removal. And on 911 website repair, we get a lot of people whose websites were hacked, cleaned by one of these automated systems, and now their websites are missing files because the automated system could not tell between a core default file and a hacked file, so it just took the whole file out. So we end up replacing a lot of core files.
Well, geez, well, that is good to know. So if you're out there and if you accidentally ran that automatic removal and you're missing files, and then you need Michael and his team to jump in. So once again, just to make sure that we have those links, if your site has been hacked or you think it might be hacked, go to sitesassure.com. That's SITESASSURE.com. And if you want your site to get fixed or maintenance or any of those things, check out 911websiterepair.com. And thanks, Michael, for stopping by and sending us straight about what we need to know about not getting hacked, about not having our website get broken as you laid out. There are a million different things that can go wrong. Your web host itself might get hacked. Someone might steal your domain names. There might be credit card stuff. I mean, all kinds of scary scenarios. So we need to be doing everything we possibly can do to make sure that we're protected. And so thanks so much for being you and for being the person that can help us to do that. And thanks also for stopping by and sharing some of this great information. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you. So thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Attention. It's time to make your computer work for you. If you struggled getting the most out of every day, getting your computer, your website, and your business to make you money while you sleep, please take a quick look at our book, The Checklist Mindset. www.checklistmindset.com.